and say you're all very welcome for our Midweek Exhale. My name's Marie, and I'm one half of the Exhale Awakening, and Sharyn, who I don't even want to point at because it'll be different in the recording, but it's over there and at the minute on my screen is the other half of the Exhale Awakening. And we run these sessions on a Wednesday. What is evening for us, but what is the middle of the week, no matter where you are. And it's that opportunity to take a pause in the middle of the week and just, yeah, like regroup, almost regroup, because I don't know about you, but I start the week with the greatest of intentions of all the things I'm going to do, and I'm going to rest and I'm going to do things gently, and it doesn't always work out that way. So this is your chance to take a pause, to regroup, and just to find your breath again. Just to let everything that has been bouncing about and has been taking your attention the first half of the week, just let it move to one side and just find your breath again. So that's why we're here. This session has a slightly different focus to our other sessions. Now, that's not to say we are not going to get you up and active, and we're not going to ask you to do we're not. It's just the focus of the session. Friday is the spring equinox. And we have gatherings where we mark the turning of the year, mark the changing of the light. So we thought that in this session we would begin that marking the changing of the light. So we'll be looking at balance, and we'll be focusing on balance, and also on, I think sometimes society tells us, oh, it's the height of spring, you need to be moving, you need to be doing things. And we're saying, no, you don't. Balance between sort of peeping out and maybe starting things, but also resting, coming back and resting. So it's that balance as well. Not the light's changing, the days are longer, let's work harder, let's push, let's not that. Definitely not that. So that's our focus in this session. For anybody who hasn't been at one of our sessions before, our sessions all have the same shape. So we will do 4 different breath styles. And in this session, our breath styles are, I'm going to start with some breath awareness and just bringing us into the session, leaving behind whatever's going on out there. Sharyn's then going to lead some coherence. I'm going to do some very, very gentle nose CCB, which we'll explain as we go along. And then Sharyn's going to finish with some more awareness and psychological sighs. Now, you don't need to remember any of that. Some people like to know what's coming up. That's why we tell you we will guide you through it all. You absolutely don't need to remember it. And if you were listening going, I don't understand what you're saying, that's okay too, because we will guide you into the breaths and explain them as we go. Each of our breath segments will begin with birdsong and will finish with silence. And we use the birdsong and silence like we use the breath to in this session to calm our nervous system just for a short time, but also to regulate our nervous system on an ongoing basis. So the birdsong gives us a sense of safety. It brings us into that rest and digest, that parasympathetic nervous system, because we instinctively know that if the birds are singing, there is no danger around. And then the silence also brings us into the parasympathetic nervous system, but allows us to make new neural pathways in our brain. And yeah, there are times I absolutely feel I need new neural pathways in my brain. So yeah, both along with the breath allow our nervous systems to really, well, allow them to get a rest for a while, but also helps us regulate as we go along. What else do I have to say? Yes, we have 2 rules, but our rule for right now is be comfortable. And we will never ask you to push through. We'll never ask you to keep at it. We very much want you to listen to your body, and we want you to be comfortable. So look after your physical comfort. If you need to move, feel free to move. If you need to maybe vocalize and you're in a place where you can, feel free to do that too. You're all on mute. The one thing we would ask you to do is not to stand up when we begin, being conscious of our breath and maybe changing our breath slightly. Sometimes we can become lightheaded. And if you stand up, there is a danger that you'll fall. So please be very, if something happens that you do have to get up and tend to, that just take a few minutes to settle and to let your breath come back to its natural rhythm so that when you get up, you can get up safely. In the saying be comfortable, I also want to say this is breath work. And breath work by its nature sometimes brings us to places where maybe we feel discomfort. And the invitation is to sit with that discomfort. It is absolutely not to push through it. It's not to ignore it. It's to sit with it, even for a short time, and just see what's there. Maybe in the sitting with it, maybe something will begin to move. But knowing all the time that you can bring your breathing back to its natural rhythm and the discomfort will subside. You're in charge of this journey. This is absolutely your hour. This is your time for you. So if this session isn't a time when you want to sit with discomfort, please don't. We would invite you to give everything that all the breath styles that we're going to do a try. Even if you come into this going, oh, I did that before and I really didn't like it, we still invite you to give it a try, because sometimes something that we didn't like before, we think differently about in another session. But also just allowing yourself to see, is this something I want to sit with this evening? Knowing again that you can always step back. You can always bring your breath back to its natural rhythm, or maybe go back to coherent breathing or breath awareness. But it is you're very much in charge of this journey. But we give you our invitations. Okay, all that being said, make yourself comfortable. Now you can do this seated or lying down. If you're seated, please make sure you're properly supported. Make sure maybe you have something behind your head just to give you that extra support. And if you're lying down, please make sure that if you have a pillow or a cushion under your head, that it's not too high, because if it's too high, you obstruct your airways. And just begin to settle yourself into your space. And begin the bird song. And just allowing the bird song to bring you here to this place now. And maybe bringing your awareness to the surface underneath you, if you're sitting on or you're lying on. And maybe even being aware of what's beneath that, all the way down into the earth. And feeling that support. And then just noticing what's present for you right now. Maybe your day's been busy up to this. Maybe there's been lots to do. Or maybe it hasn't. And noticing your thoughts without any need to judge or to clear your mind or anything else, just noticing them. Try not to get caught up or carried away with them, but knowing that also might happen. And if it does, just bringing your attention back to your breath when you notice it happening. Just noticing any emotions or any sensations in your body that are there. Just acknowledging them. And just allowing them to be. And now bringing your attention to your breath. And there's no need to change it yet, but maybe just bringing attention to it will change it, and that's okay. And noticing where you feel your inhale and your exhale. Maybe you can feel the air entering and leaving your body. Maybe there's part of your body you can feel moving, and just noticing that. And maybe you're finding it hard to find your breath right now. And if you are, maybe placing your hand on your chest or on your belly, seeing can you feel it moving. And if your attention's drifting, just gently bringing it back to the inhale and the exhale. And maybe noticing, can you feel anywhere else moving? Maybe you can feel movement in your back against the surface you're lying or sitting on. Just having a look for all those small movements that but you usually don't notice. For the last minute, maybe putting a little bit more of your focus, just a little bit more of your focus on your breath. And as the music begins to fade, getting ready to rest in the silence for the first time in this session.
And as the birdsong brings the silence to a close, just noticing and reflecting on how it felt to spend just 2 minutes in silence, just you and your breath. Maybe it's the first time that you've been in silence today, or maybe not. Maybe you have found other pockets of silence in your day. Either way, just reflecting on the quality of the silence and how you felt. And for our next breath segment, we are going to breathe the coherence breath. Breath where we balance our inhale with our exhale, taking our inhale and exhale through the nose, if that's available to you. And you can use counting to be able to match the breaths, or you can feel it in your body and in your bones. Just either, whatever way you want to do it, just begin to bring your attention to the focus of your breath. Just noticing for a minute your inhale and your exhale, moving them through your nose if that's possible. On your next exhale, just letting your breath rest at the bottom with empty lungs. And we'll do a couple of breaths together. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 2, 3, 4. Stay with that rhythm if it feels good to you. Or slow your breath down, or speed your breath up, depending on your body's requirements. Tune in. And as you begin to notice your breath equalizing, let's spend a moment reflecting on how that's mirroring what is happening in the light in the skies right now. Soon our day will equal our night. Only one of 2 days in the calendar when that happens, when day equals night. Maybe imagine your inhale as the light of day and your exhale as the dark of night. Bringing balance to a gentle inhale and a gentle exhale. And on your next exhale, you can let your breath return to normal as we approach the silence. Or you can carry on with this balanced breath. choice.
And as the bird song plays again, just taking a few moments to reflect on that silence. Maybe it felt the same as the first one, and maybe it felt very different. And in our next breath segment, I'm going to invite you to a form of conscious connected breathing. Because I am going to invite you to connect your breaths, top of the inhale and the bottom of the exhale. But the invitation in this is to breathe very gently and to make your inhale as slow as you can make it. And then just let go on the exhale. So keeping your breaths conscious, yes, and connecting them top and bottom, yes. But anything else that you've done or that you associate with conscious connected breathing, just letting that go for now. Breathing in and out through your nose. And breathing in slowly. And then just letting the exhale go. And focusing on keeping those breaths slow and connected. And you don't have to make them so slow that it becomes uncomfortable, but just slowing them down a little bit. And then taking no control at all on the exhale, just letting it fall out. slow, connected breaths. And sometimes as we approach the equinox and the light grows, sometimes there's a feeling that we have to go and we have to do, but maybe that balance is between the doing and the resting as well. Maybe the slow, conscious, connected breathing can mirror the fact that we can do, but it can be gentle. Keeping those inhales slow and controlled. And then letting go of the control on the exhale. And if the connected breathing has slipped, just beginning to gently connect your breaths again. Keeping the inhale slow and controlled. And then letting go on the exhale. We have 1 minute left here, so maybe slowing that inhale down just a fraction more. And gently allowing your breath to come back to its own natural rhythm. Pauses at the top and bottom, and resting again in the silence.
Noticing again how you're feeling as the birdsong brings the silence to the close. Noticing any differences in the silence as we've moved through the breathworks. And noticing the things that feel the same. And we're going to spend our last breath segment noticing too. So just allowing your breath throughout this last segment. And periodically we're going to introduce a psychological sigh. And you will have inevitably done 1, 2, maybe more psychological sighs throughout the day. The body does them naturally. And it's a double inhale, maybe sometimes even a triple inhale. And then a gentle sigh out. So you're not pushing on the exhale. You're not really pulling on the inhale. You're just bringing the inhale in 2 or 3 little sections, like so. And then sighing it out gently. No pushing, just really gentle. So inhale again, and then exhale, gently sighing out the breath. Practice one more time in your own time. Little tiny inhales, stacked on top of one another, and then gently sighed out. And just letting your breath be natural between the sighs. And notice how you feel. And then when it feels good to you, just doing the double inhale again and sighing it out gently, letting your body know that everything is fine. Notice. On your next inhale, introducing another psychological sigh. Inhale, inhale, gently exhale. Let your breath return to a gentle rhythm. No pushing. Noticing just before we do our final psychological sigh of the session, on your next exhale, pulling in twice, maybe 3 times, and gently sighing out. And as we move into the silence, just notice.
And as the birdsong begins for the final time in this session, just noticing how that silence was and how the silences all felt. Maybe they got longer, maybe they got shorter. And this bird song signals that it's time to come back. But taking your time, maybe just being aware of the surface under you again, all the way down to the earth. And then maybe introducing just some gentle movement. Maybe your head, neck, or legs, your feet and ankles, or your fingers, your wrists, whatever your body wants right now. Do you need to stretch or yawn? Or taking the time to do that. And if you're lying down, beginning to think about maybe turning over on your side and going back into your own space first. Looking around your physical space. And then maybe considering joining us back here in the Zoom room again.
And as you're coming back into the Zoom room and coming back into conscious awareness of where you are, I just want you to make you aware of a couple of links that we've put into the chat box for you. So we're playing with the magic of 2 this evening. So I've given you 2 links where you can connect with us for free. So the recordings of these sessions are on YouTube, and they are also in our own library of resources. And you can join both of those for free. So YouTube, obviously, you can get to through your own method, but of course you can subscribe and be informed when we put new things onto the channel. And in the community, you can you can sign up for a free tier and get access to lots of resources and breathwork recordings in there. And then I also wanted to, rather than give you the list that we normally do, oh, you can't hear me. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Okay, maybe we can fix you afterwards. I'll just carry on whilst we're recording and just tell you about the 2 links that I have where you can find things that you can find access to things that you can, where you can join us for a ticketed price, because we have so much going on over the next few days. You could really, really get fed up of us ever so easily, I'm sure. We have an Equinox gathering on Friday. We have a workshop on 2-hour workshop on Sunday. We have an open information session on Monday where you can hear about how you can work further with us if you wanted to. We're going to tell you all about the many things that we do. That's on Monday. And then on Friday, we have, obviously on Wednesday, we're back here again. And then on Friday, we have our Anchoring the Exhale longer breathwork session. But more importantly, or more excitingly for me anyway, we are holding a 3-day retreat in Yorkshire on the 5th to the 7th of June. And we would love to see some of you there. So if you're free, it's just north of York. There's a price for you to come along to the retreat, and there's a price for you to come along to the retreat with full accommodation. And if you can't manage to do all 3 days, then we'll also do single tickets as well. And I knew I'd forget one, and I thought I'd done so well, and I've forgotten something else that I'm very excited about. We're launching and I'm not going to say this right, so forgive me, you native Irish speakers in the room, but we are launching Let's Go. Is that okay? Okay. So tending for self-care. Um, I think it's called the map. I think it translates as the map. So we're going to be launching that on Tuesday. So we have an open information session for that too. But you can find tickets for everything on that ticket link that we've given you there. So yeah, we hope to see you. We hope to see you sometime at one of those events. We're very excited about all the things that are stacking up for us now, and we'd love to see you. Thank you for your extra time there. Got a little distracted, but thank you very much for the extra time there. And we're going to open the room now for Hearth and Voices. If you are on the recording, take care of yourself. Be gentle, be kind, drink water, and yeah, look after your body. Even these gentle breathworks, in fact, probably especially these gentle breathworks, have impact beyond the session that you are taking part in. I will hope to see you and breathe with you soon.